Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. This is going to be a video response to Tavis, username Vinyl Talk with Tavis. This is his, I guess it's like back to school contest slash thread that he's doing. Um, just saw he put it up, I guess maybe a week or two ago, but I just saw it today and wanted to kind of jump on board and do a response. Um, been getting to know Tavis a little bit now, probably over the past, I guess, just been a few months or so. But yeah, really cool guy, really passionate guy. Um, One of those guys that kind of lives music. Period. I guess probably 'cause he teaches it, so and he's also a performer. Um, and I always find those kind of interesting because he's the kind of guy you'll be watching this video and as he's talking about a record, he'll just like bust into singing it. It's just like so natural for him. But yeah, really cool guy. Love the questions, the whole back to school questions here. And it comes in kind of nice for me too because I really wanted to do a response to the Hot for Teacher contest that we just had not too long ago and didn't get back around to it, and that kind of sucks. I wish I would have got in on that thread as well because there were some great questions there. But this is kind of touching on some of the same stuff revolving around kind of back to school and music. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of jump on board and answer his 5 questions. So Tavis' first question was, name or share some songs that feature kids singing or in the chorus or whatever the case may be. And there's actually a number of them that popped up, but there were 4 that really stuck out to me. And I'll just kind of jump right into it. The 2 that really jumped out, like as soon as I read that question, I knew these were going to be right on there. Of course, the Lost Boys. You have the song Cry Little Sister, which is, I mean, not only is it just an awesome sounding song, but I mean, those kids are actually kind of creepy on it. Um, it's the theme song actually from Lost Boys here. But Gerard McMahon was the person who did that song. But yeah, I think almost everyone kind of knows that chorus with those kids singing that very like just haunty, however you want to describe it. But that's a great one. And the next one that was on my list was off of this album, and it says Roberta Flack, which is basically the soundtrack for Bustin' Loose. If you guys remember that, one of Richard Pryor's many hilarious movies. But overall, great soundtrack. I mean, Roberta Flack had some really great stuff on here. But there's a song actually called Children's Song, which is really nice. And actually, the entire song is children. But there really isn't. It's kind of interesting. 'Cause it's a song that almost like the entire song is almost the chorus. Um, but it's a classic song, especially if you've seen the movie. I mean, it just everyone who's seen the movie definitely knows the song I'm talking about. But a children's song off of Bustin' Loose soundtrack is another great one that features kids singing. Um, this one here, there's a couple, but it's another great soundtrack. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Just great, kind of down home, folky, just country-ish type of music. But the song, I think it's Highways in the Heaven, or In the Highways. Um, is it basically these 3 little girls that kind of sing that song, and it's just really cool. It's just what you think about with that down home, early century country folkish type of stuff. And I mean, this entire album is fantastic, but that's the song where again you have some kids singing some very amazing stuff. But In the Highways off of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And last but not least, this might be a very subtle one, but it's still one that I think has always been kind of very impactful. And this is Marquita, and it's the song Toy Soldiers. Um, and really, the only part where the kids kind of sing in that is where they say, "Won't you come out and play with me?" Which again is kind of creepy. It's a very Nightmare on Elm Street-ish, if you will. But I love that song Toy Soldiers by Marquita too. So not only a great song, but that little element they put in there with the kids. And if you kind of go and study the history of that story too, with kind of, you know, elements of drug addiction that she's talking about and everything, it's really kind of a powerful song, but definitely one of my favorite 80s tracks there. So yeah, that's another one I would put in there. Oh, and then, I don't know if anybody's wondering or not, but the reason why this one didn't shrink, it's in my purge pile because it is not quite up to snuff. So if any of you out there happen to have a mint copy of this, please get in touch with me and let me know because I want one. But great song. We got a storm going on here, so hopefully the lights don't cut out because I don't do editing. Um, all right, so let's go to the second question. First album you bought as a child. 45, it was Debbie Boone's You Light Up My Life. That's the first 45 I can ever remember having. But the first full album that I bought or that was bought for me out of a store was this one right here. You guys have heard me talk about this album a bunch of times. Billy Idol's Rebel Yell. And the reason I pulled out the cassette instead of the vinyl is because this is the actual copy that I got. This was in 5th grade. And I told the story before where I saw his Eyes Without a Face video on TV, and I just kind of freaked out about it. And I asked my mom, you know, for Christmas, all I want is this Billy Idol cassette. And she went and bought that cassette for me. And that was the first any type of full album that was ever bought for me out of a store. This exact copy. So this thing has been following me around for years. But that would definitely be the first. Next question, question number 3. Name your favorite song from a musical or musical movie. Again, no brainer. As soon as I saw that question, I knew I was going to go right to this album. Song for song, front to back, my favorite musical movie album, whatever you want to call it, Grease 2. Love it, love it, love it. Now, as far as picking my favorite song off of here, that is really hard. I would have to go with either Reproduction or Prowlin', and I'm probably gonna lean towards Prowlin', because when that comes on, I tend to kind of get a lot more into singing that one. But I mean, yeah, every song on this, I love Grease 2, flat out love it. So as an album as a whole, it's no competition. That's my favorite musical album right there. So moving on to the next question, which is number 4. Songs you remember learning in elementary school. I don't actually have this album, but the earliest one I ever remember being taught was Yellow Submarine. I remember us singing that in probably 3rd grade-ish, 4th grade-ish, somewhere around there. And you know, our music teacher teaching us, and my friend Kevin and I remember us, you know, being in the back row, and we thought it was so funny because whenever the chorus came up to say, we all live in a yellow submarine, we would say some different color, and we thought it was like the funniest thing in the world. So it was a black submarine, green submarine, or whatever else, and that was living on the edge back then. So that would be the answer to number 4. Number 5, you're a teacher for one day, a music teacher for one day, and so which artist would you talk about and why? That took a little bit of thought because I tried to figure out, first of all, what I would want to teach. And I think there's 2 that came up. Number 1 would be Sly and the Family Stone. And I just pulled out the greatest hits because that would be a great album. And then the second one I pulled out was Pink Floyd. Or the group I would say is Pink Floyd. I just happened to pull out Division Bell here. Now, the reason I thought I would pull out those 2 is because I guess as younger kids, I thought, like, what would be the elements that I would want to teach or talk about in music? And the reason I would go with Sly and the Family Stone is because I think one of the things that I feel a lot of cases is really missing from music today is the celebration aspect that's inside of music, where music not just being there only to tell you something in terms of like, this is the crap I'm dealing with, or this is what you should feel, or always trying to be like a reflection of who I am. Like I'm doing my pose by doing this type of music or this type of song or whatever else. But really just, and I don't know if that makes sense or not, but what I'm saying is Sly and the Family Stone, whenever I listen to them or this album in particular, the greatest hits, all I think about is this is celebration put back into music. Like the joy of everyone being together and just being moved by this thing called music. And doing it not because I'm trying to show you how cool I am, not doing it because I'm trying to show you how tough I am, not because I have to express my dark side, not because I, you know, not where it's not about me, but it's about, hey, let's celebrate together. And I think if you were sitting down and really educating and could get into the minds of students, that element that used to exist so strongly and prominently in music, I think that would be fantastic. So Sly and the Family Stone do that as good as any band. Um, and then Pink Floyd, again, I'm thinking here, if you could get something into the kids' heads very fast in a 1 day time period, the elements that from Pink Floyd is really going back to seeing the beauty and emotion inside of music. Um, again, just being able to make people feel in such simple ways. That's the one thing I've always been so impressed with Pink Floyd. Is not just Pink Floyd music is great and blah blah blah, but it's like they can do something so simple, you know, but yet, like, how do you get that much emotion out of something that simple? And of course, I mean, they're very skilled. They have their complex things and blah blah blah. But just kind of in general, that's what always has amazed me about Pink Floyd. So, if you can teach kids how to to be able to find that type of emotion and beauty, and be able to move people where you don't have to be necessarily Hendrix like, Pink Floyd could really give them that example. And again, just telling kids, hey, just get back to enjoying each other, just getting together and celebrating. Sly and the Family Stone is going to teach you how to do that. So those are the two bands that I would kind of put out in front of the kids for that day that I was teacher. But yeah, I think that's all five. Yeah, it's all five questions. So yeah, Tavis, again, great idea. Though those were really fun questions. I kind of knew stuff I was going to pull up as soon as I read the questions that you had there. Fun to do. And best of luck going back to school. And I hope the year starts off smooth for you. And I hope you have a great one, man. All right, take care, VC, and we will talk to you soon.